Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 102 of LTFM. I'm trying to get out of a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot right now, and I'm late for work. But, so, I needed to talk to you guys because I got into a little bit of some crazy shit this morning. Let's be honest, okay? I go, um, hold on. I don't even know what the fuck side to be on right now. But I went to feed Mama this morning, right? And she was sitting out there. Well, I seen her laying out there, and I was like, "Oh, Mama, good morning," like, and then I fed her, whatever. Um, and as I'm sorry, hold on, I just had a whole thing. Mama's laying outside, right? Um, I'm like, "Hey, Mama, I'll be out in a few minutes to come feed you some breakfast, whatever." So I open the garage door, I get her things, and then uh she's waiting there for me to wash her bowls because I wash her bowls every time I bring them in. And she's waiting there, and then I come outside. I was like, "Whoa, other kitties there." So there's been like this gray and whatever striped cat outside lately in the mornings, and it's a boy. He's got little nuggets. And I was just like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" Because he's very close. And Mama was like, "Meow," how she usually does her little meows in the morning, saying like, "I'm hungry." And I was like, "Okay, baby, I'm getting your food." And then that other cat was like, "Fuck it." Like he was like confused, like, sure, meow, she's meowing, she's getting food. Maybe I should meow and get some food. So that dude fucking meows, and I was like, okay, we'll back up a little bit because he started walking towards me. I was like, hold on, dude, give Mama some space. And so she starts eating her little bit of food after I bring it out. I've been mixing her wet food with her dry food and only giving her like half the can lately because she's been like not eating the full can because she's not, feeding her kittens anymore, which I haven't seen in a while, and I'm sad because I miss them. But and so I was like, okay, hold on. So he keeps trying to walk over to my mama. I was like, dude, back it up. Mama's trying to eat. And then Mama was like, fuck this shit, and she left. And I was like, oh, Mama. So I picked up the bowl because he was getting kind of crazy on her. Well, like, I mean, he wasn't trying to attack her or anything, but he was like walking up, and she's like uncomfortable. She wants to eat her own food. She wants to be by herself. So Mama was pissed. And then I was like, hold on, let's see how they interact because she was sitting in the bush. And I was like watching him. He walked over there, and she was like, she's not having it. I was like, okay, back up from Mama, back it up. So I yelled at that other cat, and I was like, get out of here. And like, I kept walking away from him and trying to get Mama to eat and put the bowl in the bush and everything. And then Mama was like, you know what? I'm fucking out of here. And I was like, oh, Mama. So she left, and I felt really bad because she only had a few bites of food. And then I was like, okay. I was like, other kitty, here. So I tossed him a couple nuggets of her dry food because I accidentally poured too much this morning. And he was like, hmm. And he ate those. And he kept coming up to me, and I was like, you need to stop. And I pointed at him, and he came up and booped his little nose on my finger. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, wait, back up. What are you doing? Because I'm like, oh man, I kind of like that. And so after that, I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, Victoria?" Like, that cat is trying to get you. And then I was like, "Wait, come on!" And I opened my arms, and he started coming towards me. I was like, "You're crazy!" And I put my hand out, and he rubbed his head on it. He let me pet him. He was rubbing his body on me. I was like, "Oh wow!" Look, don't tell Mama, okay? I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying petting that other cat. And it was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never pet Mama, but like I understand, like she's got, she's uncomfortable and that's okay. But I was like, oh man, I love petting a cat. And I was like, hey, the only cat that I usually get to pet really is when I go babysit. They have a cat and his name's Fennel. And I'd be petting that cat, and he's okay until he's not, kind of thing. Like he'd be he'd be biting me sometimes, and he'd be kind of getting crazy and trying to scratch me, but I'm fast too. Yeah, he's gotten me a couple times, but like, it's not been that bad. I was just like, okay, you're done. But I was like, oh, how cute. I just like wasn't expecting to be able to pet a cat. So it was kind of like really exciting. Um, but damn, dude, like I don't know what to do because like now he knows like I don't like if I get him accustomed to waiting out there when he sees mama, like if he starts noticing mama sitting out there, he's waiting out there, then he's gonna come over and want to eat, and then I feel bad because like mama's not eating, but like I don't fucking know, but I kind of I don't mind. I like to feed him. Like if you're gonna let me pet you, oh wow, come over and eat, baby. I don't know, but like, are you letting me pet you because you're someone's cat? I don't fucking know, dude. But like, do people usually let their cats keep their balls? I don't know. It's like, I don't fucking know. Um, so that's the cat thing that I was dealing with today. Yesterday when I came home from work, that other cat was he was in my fucking like so I have my car parked across the street, just like in the street, because Aaron's been like working on his truck, so like getting it in and out and stuff. I don't want to have to keep playing musical cars, as he says. Um, so I drive up yesterday, and that cat is rubbing its body all over my tires and like sniffing my car and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? Also, I drove up. I'm using Aaron's truck right now. I'll talk about that later, but anyway, I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, that cat's outside again, rubbing his body. And like he's kind of scared, but like also today he was wild. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh wow, love that for me. So I mean, if you're gonna let me pet you, come on, I like that. But I don't know. I just feel bad because I don't want Mama to like feel bad. But I mean, like they are stray cats. I don't know. I messed up. But I liked it. I got to pet that little cat. He was really soft. He is very small. He's not as big as the other two cats that were coming around, like the gray and white one. Fuck that dude. And the big ginger one that had a cast on and has full health insurance. Like, what the fuck? He's nowhere near as big as those, but like he's definitely bigger than Mama. But I'm guessing that it's just because he's like a boy cat. Um, but holy fuck, crazy. So anyway, I was gonna try to do a video, but I can't because I don't have a thing in here. Like, what is that? The thing to hold my phone. And so I was like, fuck that shit. That video's gonna be all wonky and shaky. I didn't want to do that to you guys. So you don't get to see my face, but you could hear my voice. Hello, friends. Yeah, guys ever go to Dunkin' Donuts? Have you guys ever went to Dunkin' Donuts? Um, I'm sure you have. I don't know why I fucking asked that, but you guys should get the stuffed bagel minis if you like bagels and cream cheese. Oh, they're fucking banging. Because honestly, I feel like Dunkin' Donuts bagels, they're just a bagel, but they be getting real stiff, you know? Even if you get them toasted, they be kind of trash. But the stuffed bagel minis, banging. Banging body, hot tamales. Wait, banging body, hot bagel with cream cheese. Yeah, they're pretty good. I like them. They have plain and they have like the everything ones, but you should get those. I'd be smashing them. So I don't really have anything planned to talk about other than that cat thing, really. But I do have a couple random thoughts, right? I sent these to Aaron the other day because I got high, right? Got high, went into work, and I was like, bro. And then I started thinking about shit. One of the thoughts that I had was, um, witchcraft, right? Witchcraft, you're doing spells, putting spells on people, making little potions, doing all this stuff. I'm not the most educated in it. Maybe it's not even called that, but you know what I mean. So, doing a spell kind of thing, you like mix a bunch of stuff together. Usually you'll mix things together and then you'll be like, okay, this and this, right? And you'll be like, bam, the spell's done. I mixed all this stuff together. Now this dude's got to drink it, or now I got to spray it on someone or do something kind of thing, whatever. Isn't isn't that just cooking? Like, you're mixing stuff in water. You're doing an egg, you're doing the salt, you're doing this and that, a leaf or whatever. Isn't that just cooking? Like, so when I'm making food, right? And like, let's just say you're doing something like chili. So Aaron gets a bunch of fucking cocoa powder. He gets like these peppers. He gets like onions and all this shit, and he starts chopping them up, starts mixing them together, starts heating them up. Starts making it thicker, doing this and that, scraping like the shit out of the pepper and doing all that stuff. Isn't he just fucking doing witchcraft? Like, not just Aaron specifically, but like, aren't you just doing witchcraft then? And then like the whole time you're doing it, because like sometimes people like when like they're doing stuff like that and like they're mixing things together because they're doing some kind of a spell, they'll be like saying things and stuff, and like that's supposed to help the spell work. Um, and then like when you're cooking, you're cooking and people are like, "Oh, what are you making?" And you start telling them what you're making. You're like, "This shit's supposed to be fucking fire. You've never had anything like this before." And like, is that you doing part of the spell? Putting a spell on somebody, getting them mentally ready for this fucking food that you've made, is it even that good? Or is it just you using your mind control on them and fucking you put a spell on them? I'll give you a second to process that. Crazy, right? Now you're thinking about it. Now you're thinking, come on, all of you witches out there. Crazy thoughts. All right. Second thought that I had. Though I feel like you could say this is a no kind of thing. It's your opinion, actually, right? A muffin. A majority of us have had a muffin. Majority of us enjoy a muffin. And I feel like I could say pretty confidently, a majority of us think that the best part of the muffin is the top crunchy, delicious part. Even though the rest is delicious, the top is like crunchy, but it's got a little bit of like the soft on the inside of it, because it raises up. And it's just, oh, it's good. It's crispy, but it's not burnt. It's fire. So we've all had a muffin, and I feel like that's the best, that's the most preferred part, right? So why do people even fucking make muffins anymore? Instead of just like fucking making muffin mix and putting it on like a cookie tray and then just having the whole thing be the crunchy part. Like, what are we even doing? Because I get a muffin. I take that little paper part off. I flip that bad boy over. I eat the bottom first. And then I save the little cap for the end. Like, come on. Let's think. Let's think, guys. What do you think about that? You think that's a good idea? Because, like, well, okay, look, it probably wouldn't be a cookie tray, because, like, you need to have something, a little bit of space for it to go over and everything. But I'm sure that we could come up with some kind of a tray so that when you put the muffin mix in there, the whole thing's just the top part. And of course, you're gonna have a little bit of the soft inside too, but like, come on. Gabby's behind me. That's so funny. I just noticed her. I was like, that's my friend. I had to wave to her. Little does she know I'm filming a podcast right now. Not filming, recording. Recording, filming, same thing. You know what I mean. Um, so yeah, here's my little thoughts, right? Well, look, honestly, I don't know if you know. Hold on, I'm just sitting here eating. Ugh. Okay, well, I don't know. Oh, okay, here, I can tell you about this. Um, so I was called yesterday for my surgery. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Actually, by the time you hear this, it's gonna be my surgery is already gonna be done. Ah, or is it? I don't even know. I don't even know when the fuck this is coming out. Um, but yeah, they called me and they were like, "So you can't take acetaminophen." And then I was like, "Could you imagine if I go into the surgery and I'm like, "Hey, um, I'm already autistic," because didn't Trump just do that thing where he was uh, like talking about like acetaminophen or like Tylenol or something like being linked to like autism. So I go into the surgery and I'm like, "Hey, I know you said don't take it, but I'm already autistic. But like, thanks for looking out for me anyway." And they're just like, "Oh, that's not the reason why we told you to not take that." That would have been so funny. But so anyway, I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, they were just like, just don't take any acetaminophen, but everything else is pretty chill. Like my birth control, my allergy medicine is fine. They were like, don't shave for 4 days before because if you get a little bit of a nick or a rash, you can't get the surgery. And I was like, what? Like, are you guys gonna shave my armpit then for me? Because like you would think you wouldn't want any hair to be there. What if you like sew me up and you sew a hair inside and then that hair gets fucking crazy. And then I got a big lump in there again because I got a hair. I don't know. Whatever. But so I can't shave. They were like, you got to use this special cleanse stuff, which I already got, like I told you. Um, my surgery's gonna be at 8 a.m. I'm gonna be waking up to go right back to bed, but I'm hyped for it. I kind of like being put under. I think it's interesting, but I'm trying to think of something funny to say before, um, right before I fall asleep. I'm like, I took a laxative before I got here, and I just started shading myself. Um, or I'd be like, I ask them a riddle. Why is a raven like a writing desk? And they're like, what? I start I start repeating a fucking rhyme. Oh, you are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age this is right? And then I'm like, I knock the fuck out. That'd be so funny. But yeah, I don't even know. I start singing them a song. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Singing them a classic potatoes and molasses mix, you know? But I don't even know. But I'm excited, real excited to get it. They're like, don't get a cold, don't get this. Yesterday, after hearing her say, don't you make sure you don't get sick, I went home and I was like, I think I'm sick. My throat started feeling all weird. I was getting all fucking paranoid. I started popping. I took like I took my vitamins and I took like some extra vitamin C, like booster kind of shit. But I was like, you're being fucking paranoid, bitch. And when I woke up this morning, I was totally fine. But I'm like, It's okay. I'm just so excited. It's gonna be a great day. Aaron took off that day for me to take care of me and get me to the hospital and everything. And then I think he told them that he might not come in the next day. We're just gonna kind of see how I feel because they were like, yeah, you should be okay to return the next day if you want. But just kind of see how you feel. All right. Well, also there's hella construction by my job, right? I'm glad that they have traffic completely stopped right now. Supposed to be there at 8:30, is now 8:34, and there is a forklift uh moving back and forth in the middle of the street, so that's wonderful. Love that my job gives us points whenever we're late, so that's great. Love that. Love that for me. But anyway, I'm so excited for this fucking surgery. Like, I literally, I'm gonna wake up from, well, I hope that my little brain realizes that, like, I'm waking up and I'm gonna be a totally new person. Because I feel like this is one of the main things that's just been, like, keeping me down my whole life, making me self-conscious. Because, yeah, I'm big, right? I'm not fucking 600 pounds big. And like, I feel like that's the only thing that really makes me so self-conscious is just like having that fat under my fucking arm and like people saying that it's nothing and like, oh, it's totally fine. You don't have to get it removed. And I'm like, yeah, but like it's disgusting to look at. I'm gonna just I hope that when I wake up from my little surgery, I'm like, oh, I am a new woman. And I hope I just understand from my little drugged little brain, like, hey, fucking, you got that shit done, and now we're living, baby. Aaron was like, I'm so excited to see how confident you are after you get that done. And I was like, that's so sweet. Aaron always says like the sweetest little things where he just makes me feel good about myself. I'm glad I chose to be with Aaron. Not like he chose to be with me. Yeah, I'm happy that I'm with Aaron. He's great. But surgery at 8 a.m. Santa's coming to town. I'm fucking hyped. But I will let you guys go. I just got to my job. Yes, I'm late. But who cares, baby? I'm here. I'm here and I'm queer. Not really, but whatever. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.